I'm taking a look now at whether I should do a little more painting before I remove the frisket, and I think I should. One of the things I wanted to do, even though it's a later stage in the process, is blow through a straw. That's one of the things I thought looked like so much fun. So I want to do that, but I also don't want it to get on my flower. So I'll have to be careful about where I blow. I'm also not sure why I left all of this white. I'm looking at that and thinking, why did I leave that white? Because it's not that way. So what I'm going to do is try to blow some lines in that direction and a few things over in here and just see how that goes, just because I've always wanted to do that and it looked like fun. So I'm going to mix up a darker tone and it'll be ultramarine or French ultramarine blue. By the way, I'm going to put a big blob of paint right here. And I'm going to blow it. Oh, it didn't go in the right direction. Oh, well, let's try something else. Okay. And when it doesn't go exactly in the right direction, maybe you kind of dab at part of it. And here's another idea. How about creating a little path? Yeah, that worked. I'm going to do another one down here. It's kind of dark in this area. Oh, it's fun to do that. Move this so I can see it better. Oh, I don't know what it is, but I like it. Okay, now I'm going to mix up some more of this rose madder genuine. I want to get a little bit more of a concentrated spot of it here and there, so I'm going to put a little dab of water in a few places where I want it. And I'm going to drop paint into those dabs of water.
That looks a bit like the inside of the hydrangea, the stems.
Oh, yeah. It does, doesn't it? Okay. Now I see little dots here and there, little yellow dots, and it's on the cacti themselves. And so I want to achieve that effect without actually having to do much work. So I'm going to start to put little dots of yellow around. Maybe I'll spatter some. Let's see, sometimes it works to get another brush and use it. Let's try it with some green. Now I'm going to start painting the flowers. I have some instant coffee here too. I may make use of at some point when I get to the point where I'm going to do darker colors. So I've got my lemon yellow. And I have some green, too, sap green. I'm going to try to work with a few of these individual petals. And the center area here, which is, I'll do some negative space painting, but has all the little dabs of yellow. And while it's wet, I'm going to bring some of this rose madder into the tip. I have several brushes here. I've got different colors on. Okay, there's a little bit of kind of a darker tone here. It's a little bit warm. So what am I mixing? I'm mixing a little bit of a sort of an umber. It might be a little too soon for me to be putting some of these darks in, but I want to get something established in here. I have to make this come out a little bit more. It's almost as if you can see through some of these petals that are on the lower section.
Really got that glow that those petals have, that waxy glow.
Yeah. Some of the places where I put the red before look very light now. So before it's completely dry, I want to come back in and make it a little darker. Getting mixed up what color I have on which brush. Let's see. I'm adding a little orange to this. I didn't mean to make it quite that strong, but I'd like to bring a little bit of an orangey tone into some of these petals.
The translucency of your petals is just gorgeous.
It's pretty so far. It's a light touch. It's, it's the thing is, in order to make it work with the rest of the painting, I have to make some adjustments.
And keep it really light, you mean? In color or?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll have to come back in and bring in a little more, more contrast and
Oh,
not quite as much of the softness. But I'm going to wait until I get the basic lay in of color, and then I'll just determine where that is. And I'll start with the center and kind of work out.
okay. I see what you're saying. It's just so pretty like that.
Well, now see, like I'm seeing here, I can define this edge. If I define an edge
Uh-huh.
a little bit more, that'll help to give it
Depth.
definition without actually destroying that translucent feel.
Gotcha.
Oops. Shouldn't be there. My petal is a little mixed up here because I didn't follow exactly like it is in the photo. Okay, now I want to go and define some of the edges here in the background too. So this is French ultramarine and a little bit of Prussian blue.
is French ultramarine much different from other ultramarines?
Oh, I don't know. I always thought it was all called French ultramarine. Is it just the name of the pigment or the brand that they put on it?
I think it's a pigment. I think it was originally lapis lazuli, but I don't, I think there is some difference among the, whether, when it says French ultramarine, I think that means something, but I'm not quite sure what.
Huh.
I think it's more like the original.
Well, that's what it says on my tube.
Yeah, thank you.
I've mixed a little bit of rose madder together with this ultramarine here.
Fabulous.
Sylvia, that looks beautiful.
Oh, really?
Well, I had to run it. I had a little bit of an emergency, nothing terrible, but I had to leave for about 15 minutes and I can't believe I came back and it's so beautiful.
Oh, well, I'm just now getting to those darks. When you start putting those darks in,
Yeah, and starting to make it pop. But the flowers, just as I left, you were just starting the flower. The flower, I think, came out beautiful.
thanks.
Gorgeous.
And pretty soon I want to remove the frisca, so I have to stop painting the area that has the frisca on it, or it won't be able to be removed.
The Friskett's only on the cactus spines, is that right?
Yeah, I did some curlicue things over here somewhere too.
Hmm.
That's the problem, is I don't remember exactly where I did that. Find out. Okay, so I'll go back to painting in some of the flowers.
You have a very colorless frisket. I think aren't some friskets, don't they have a little color so you can see where they are?
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah, orange, some blue.
I'd rather not have that color influence me while I'm painting. Guess I'd rather not know where it is.
I'm just like, I don't like using the bright blue tape to tape down my paper because I think it affects my color sense.
Right.
Yeah, once somebody mentioned that to me, I could never go back to the blue tape.
Yeah, once you really thought about it, huh? Oh, there's some boats making a lot of noise on the river right now.
That must be a surprising sort of, I don't know whether you'd call it a dividend from living there, but not having been brought up around serious rivers, I wouldn't have expected. I wouldn't have thought about how much sound the boats would make.
That's me too. I grew up in Wyoming and we really didn't have much water.
Right.
So it's really a neat thing to have sounds as being a part of your environment, different sounds. And the church bells, there are a lot of bells ringing at different times of day.
Lovely.
Tomorrow, I should get my umbrella that I sent away for. I sent away for a photographer's umbrella that's got, keep the reflective quality, keep the light from coming through. And it's one that I can attach to that cart that I take around. So when I take it painting, I'm going to start going down to the French Quarter and Jackson Square and places like that. I'll have an umbrella to keep my paper, so it won't have sun on it. So I'm really anxious to start doing that.
I think it'll be lovely to be in the, out in that very different environment.
I think so.
You can eat some beignets.
Oh, yes, I definitely will.
I love those.
They're good.
Coffee is good too.
Yeah, kind of chicory-ish.
Yeah, I love it. Oh boy.
So you see, I'm getting a little darker now on the petals. Kind of a dry brush technique.
Sylvia, I know we discussed that. I put my painting under the sun and now I cannot remove masking fluid. Any suggestions?
Oh, it won't come off at all? Huh. No, I'm trying to think what I would recommend in a case like that.
I think
You tried
someone,
rubbing?
I am, and it just like patches are coming out. And I think either Donna or Sharon, somebody was talking about it in the past.
It was Cheryl, yeah.
Oh,
She said that you have to be careful with masking fluid and heat. That's why she doesn't use a hair dryer.
Cheryl left a painting in her car one time with brisket on it, and she didn't ever get any of it off after that.
Oh,
oh, that's probably what will happen with me.
so I guess it's part of your experimental technique.
You're right, because whole painting is kind of experimental. I was just wondering if anybody has any suggestions, because it's too late. It was already under the heat. Like for,
Yona,
yes.
Yona, it's Gina. I think
Oh, hi, Jenny.
in one of the videos we watched on Tuesday, I think, but I'm not positive, I heard someone say, one of the videographers say, Scotch tape to lift it up, but I don't know. I can't promise.
Okay, I will try it
I'm
right
not
now and I will
responsible.
share my experience. Okay.
If it hurts your painting, it wasn't me.
No, it's not you, but like Sylvia said, okay, whatever, it's just a piece of paper.
You
It's
could,
not like
you could,
masterpiece.
you could use packing tape. It might be a little, I don't know what size the frisket is, but you could use a little bit of packing tape in a circle inside out and put your fingers in there and just roll it over, see if it works. It's a little stickier, I think. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I will try little pieces of everything, and at the end I will share with the, with the class.
What good it did, yeah.
It might be helpful information. Maybe nothing will work.
You used a pencil eraser, and it was helpful. Just don't press too hard.
Yeah, I have like 3 different erasers, including kneaded eraser, but
How about the frisket remover? It's like a little square.
The
That-
rubbing,
yeah, I tried that. That's
that-
the first, yeah, that's the first thing I tried. Frisket remover. But anyway, I will share. I'm going to get my tapes.
That is just gorgeous, Sylvia.
oh, thanks. I just stepped away and now I'm coming back and wondering if I can try lifting the frisket. See, where's my rubber cement pickup? That's the best thing to use. Still a little damp over in that area. I'm going to work on the flower more, and now the outside edge around the flower. So let's see. Sometimes it's hard to really see what color to add to a shadowy area, and that's because I want something to stand out, but I don't want it to look, I want it to look colorful. Oops.
That's a good choice for a shadow.
Yeah, it's got some of the green, but it's got a little bit of warmth down at the base. I forgot to paint that petal. Now I have to paint the petal after I painted the shadow. It's not that hard though. I really love this brush that's got the real long point.
Is it a synthetic or a fur?
It's synthetic velvet touch.
Oh yeah, I like a brush that has a little more snap to it,
Yeah,
like the synthetics do.
I think that I'm not even sure that if this was in the acrylic or the watercolor section.
Is it, it's not a rigger, is it?
No,
It's just a round?
it's a number 6. Let me see.
Lovely.
I'm going to take this label off. It says something about bright. Let's see here. Get the label off. Oh no, it just says Princeton brush.
Okay.
It's a Princeton Velvet Touch, number 6.
Yes. That must be the line of brushes.
Looked it up. I just looked it up. It says for acrylic, oil, and watercolor.
Yeah, I got it at Michael's. But I like it a lot.
Looks like you have a lot of control and you're being able to place it just beautifully.
Yeah, because it's such a wonderful fine line.
Sylvia, that Daniel Smith lavenderish color you mentioned before, is that wisteria?
No, it's, let's see, it might be bright violet. Let's see. Oh, no, this is this was the violet I was using before, bright violet. It's PWC,
What's it called?
bright violet.
Bright violet. Okay.
Okay, now I have to start looking at the overall picture. I'm in here, Michael. Yeah. Okay, now I want to put in some coffee. Where should I put the coffee? Down here? Over in here, maybe sprinkle some over in here.
Are you using instant coffee or grounds?
It's in,
I think in the area where where the photo has the great the deep shadow, that
yeah.
makes sense.
Okay, so here I go. I'm going to sprinkle some of this good smelly coffee.
I'm assuming it will only work where the paper's wet.
Yeah, well, I sprayed it. Did you see me spray it?
No, I turned away for a minute.
I did. I sprayed it in a few places here.
Agree. How'd that happen? Sorry.
I'm going to try spraying it again after I sprinkle it on and see what happens.
It'll probably spread.
That's what I hope.
Bob wants to know if it's chicory coffee.
Nope. It's from the dollar store. And it's medium roast. It says makes 32 cups. It just says coffee.
The dollar store is a perfect place to get painting coffee,
Right.
coffee for paint.
So is this going to act a little bit like the salt, but does it leave a color as well?
Yes.
It's going to be like brusho, I think. Brusho, which is granulated pigment.
And I think it makes it a little shiny from what I heard.
It does.
It has kind of a neat texture. Maybe I'll drop some in over here too. Okay, that's enough. I don't want to overdo it.
Oh, Sylvia, that your petals on the flowers just glow.
Oh, yeah, they do still stand out, don't they? I wanted to preserve some of my plastic wrap stuff, you know, and I think I'm losing it. Part of it is because I look at where I think it needs to be a little darker. I heard it was foggy in Santa Barbara this morning. That must feel good after the last few days, huh?
It's not foggy, not where I am.
Oh,
Yeah, it was foggy where I am. I'm on the mesa and it was, you could see it was foggy when I woke up and then foggy out over the water still.
And it was very foggy when we walked this morning. And it
Uh-huh.
was wonderful.
It's 102 here in Paso Robles, so
oh,
God for air conditioning.
today?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, I thought it cooled off.
Not up here. It's not supposed to cool off till next week.
Oh,
Ugh. I mean, it was 108 in San Luis yesterday.
Wow.
doesn't it seem odd that I'm in New Orleans where everybody told me how hot it was going to be and it's not as hot here as it is there?
It is odd.
But it's a lot more, it's more humid. They always say you feel hotter.
Well, I don't.
Well, it sounds to me like you lucked out.
I have air conditioning.
Okay.
My weather app says that it will be up to 66 degrees highest temperature next week.
66.
So it will be, yeah. Today the highest will be 77. Now it's 73. And beginning tomorrow, it will go down. Oh no, actually beginning tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, this evening, early evening will be like 66, sadly,
Okay.
but no rain as usual.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that what needs to happen now is more attention to the flowers, the center parts. And I think I'll
Using-
put on my glasses. Okay, so that's a matter of negative space painting, a lot of it. And I'm maybe going to make some of it a little darker than it is in the photo, just to give it a little more definition.
Sylvia, it's glowing.
The green,
That chiaroscuro.
oh, I think I need to add more yellow, but I don't want it to be a bright yellow. Let's see, maybe I'll see what this yellow is. I don't remember what I put here. Might be a Naples yellow, I'm not sure. Let me see if that's too orange. I think it needs something, so. Yeah, it's a little bit too orange. Maybe cad yellow. It's not really the color that's on the photo, but I need it to stand out, so. Anybody else having a hard time with the yellows?
It's hard.
It's kind of disappointing what's happening with where the coffee was because it's gotten a little bit too solid looking to me.
I don't know, stand back and look at it. It looks really, it has depth on the screen and it really added
Can you
some,
down?
yeah, it looks really nice.
I wonder though if I need to spatter something lighter over it.
Or maybe dab a little tissue,
Maybe.
unless it's, or damp tissue.
Oh, it's the tissue stuck to it. I've
Yeah,
got,
that's what I had with, when I used coffee that time, it seemed really thick and I wasn't happy with it.
well, I kind of like the effect, but I'd like to see a little relief too. So I think I will spatter something on top of it. So let's see. Yeah, that I like better.
Yeah, me too.
That looks good.
Now it has, you know, there's the little dots of cactus in places that are lighter. So that kind of helps to create that illusion. Now, looking at the spines, and I think I'll add a few. Well, it's fun to use this brush to create the little spines.
Are you using Gosh?
Yes.
I mean,
You have to use it so that it's fairly opaque for it to stand out. I'm even gonna come in here in the center part and use a little gouache to bring out detail. Because I lost some of that. If you have pastel pencils and you need to bring something out too, that might be a good way to do it.
It's gorgeous, Sylvia. You've got to sign it.
Oh,
Not gorgeous.
I hope I like it. You know, still like it when I look at it again. You know how it is. Sometimes you think, "Gee, I like it. Oh, I hope
Would you like my, if you don't like it, I'll give you my address. It's just gorgeous.
So beautiful.
You know, the thing I'm not real happy with on the, it looks better to me on the camera than here. Not really happy with my colors in my flower. It doesn't have the, I don't know if it's the vibrancy. I don't know if I need to use a quinacridone or what. I don't think I have the right. Does quinacridone come in green?
No. No, there is no quinacridone green.
It's just that it doesn't have that
No.
yellow that I
Have to
want.
go to the phthalates for the greens and the blues and the quinacridones for the reds and the oranges.
Are
Okay.
you wishing that your yellow were more lemony?
Yes, and I tried the lemon, but
Do you have an azo yellow there?
no, I don't. Maybe that
But
would,
that's pretty bright. And it holds its color.
okay, maybe that would be the one for me to try to get then. And maybe by darkening up some of the petals,
That's a thought.
yeah, like around the outside, that might help because to make the flower stand out more.
The flower that you're working on right now, I think is very successful.
The little one?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's clearer from a little distance away, and you're probably right on top of it. It actually, because the background has a lot going on and is very textured, those smooth big petals are very noticeable. They stand out very well, even though they're not the brilliant bright, the really, really bright yellow. But they're very noticeable.
And then it's starting to bother me that this petal is bigger than it should be. Am I too picky?
They're not all the same size, you know.
Yes, you're picky.
I'm getting being too picky.
I'm sitting here trying to put hydrangea flower petals in.
Oh, yeah, that'd be even
I'm
more.
doing the same thing.
Tricky. But you know something, wherever the paper was crinkled, somehow there's a suggestion of a leaf. I just have to figure out how you get the other 3 petals to match it.
Oh, okay.
I like the mix of colors you have in that front flower, the kind of orangish and the green. I think it's,
Well, it does have a lot of variation, that's for sure. Maybe if I bring some of this out more, I'll feel more like that petal doesn't look so odd. I know there's a shadow under some of these. I started putting it in, but got sidetracked. I'm going to stop and take a look at the voice thread and what people emailed me so that we can take a look at what you guys did. And then,
Sylvia, that's beautiful. I think your painting is gorgeous.
thank you very much. That makes me happy.
Well,
I agree.
yeah, I think it's just.
I love the
Gorgeous.
difference between the smoothness of the cactus petals and the delicate laciness of all the background.
Oh, and
Yeah.
the textures. Okay, thanks.
Beautiful.